As I'm filming this, I'm 17 videos in, I think. I've never really introduced myself before, so I kind of thought now's as good a time as any. So I've asked for some questions on Instagram and on a YouTube community post on my channel. Thought I'd just take this time to take you along on a walk with me and tell you a bit about myself. Nice to meet you. So what first got you into your hiking session is question number one. And I guess with that, why I started this channel. So I've always been outdoorsy. My dad is a Welshman and a mountain leader, and he used to like train people in the RAF by climbing everything in early, so we started young. I can't remember what my first mountain was, but I do remember my dad helping me write like an essay at school. I think it was what we did in the summer holidays type thing. And basically it was, I climbed my first Munro, which I know Munros are meant to be mountains in Scotland over 3,000 feet, I think it is. This was Trevan in Wales. And yeah, that was maybe not my first mountain, but it's the first one I remember talking about, so we'll go with that. That was probably when I was about 11, 12. I'm really thankful for my childhood for that kind of experience outside, but I did lose that connection a little bit when I started, I think probably late high school, sixth form, and then uni. I didn't really have that or feel that connection to nature as strongly. When I was a kid, I was always outside making dens and stuff, but I guess when I stopped having time for that, I just stopped making an effort to go outside. Didn't have a car in uni. Well, I can't drive, so obviously I didn't have a car in uni. Trains are expensive, I was broke, so just didn't really get outside much beyond the local area. And then I think my partner one day suggested we go on a hike. I think he chose Mamtor, which is a bit of a meme now, but it was still a really enjoyable time. And that kind of just sparked a new love of hiking and getting outside in both of us, I think. He was always into mountain biking and stuff, so he was connected with nature that way, which is a bit more chaotic, I think. I prefer the much slower, chilled out, looking around at nature vibe. But yeah, ever since then, just love getting outside. I try and drag him out as much as possible. He likes it too, but you know, he doesn't have a YouTube channel about it, so I think I'm the true fan. Which, yeah, leads me on to why I started this YouTube channel, and basically, I just wanted other people to experience the joy that I feel getting outside, and even though I did have that early start in the outdoorsy life, I didn't have it as an adult, or at least when I first became an adult, and I don't want people to think that because they didn't grow up doing something, they can't get into it at a later time. I love starting hobbies. You can start a hobby whenever you like, and that's kind of what I want to show with my channel. I just want to try different things. That's why I've been doing some camping stuff lately. The more noble reason, I guess, is that I want people to care about nature more, because I want people to learn how to protect it. And I think the more people that I can encourage to get out and try being in nature and reaping the benefits of getting outside and smelling fresh air, I think there are going to be more people that care for it. Sorry, that was kind of long-winded. I think I just spoke for like 5 minutes. I'll try and cut that down. But yeah, just love it. Can't get enough of it, and hopefully when I can drive, I'll be out here way more often. What's that? Thought it was a cave, but this is cool. Let's give a quick look. It's a fun little cavern. Don't know if you'll be able to see it very well, but it looks cool. Okay, you're on a hike. The footpath ahead is beginning to become overgrown and difficult to continue. At what point would you turn back, or is perseverance the method of choice? Well, I feel like I'm frequently on weird footpaths like this that are kind of overgrown and maybe have rubbish in the way, have plants coming at you in all directions. Usually it's when you know, it's kind of close to civilization like this. But to be honest, I think it's kind of a case-by-case thing. If something is dangerous, then yeah, I probably would back out as soon as I realised it was dangerous and try and find a way around it. But if it's just a bit overgrown, or say someone's tried to obstruct a public right-of-way, then I tend to go through it, because me trampling down some of the overgrown vegetation and getting rid of the blockages is just going to help the next hiker or someone who might not be as able as me to do that. So I'm thinking of them, you know, and I try and power through. But yeah, it does put you off a little bit, but you know, I think it's worth it for the nice views. Look how pretty that is. We're going up there later. I think what I can see over there is Giddy Edge. I might be looking at the wrong place, but we're going up one of these hills later on. But yeah, perseverance normally, unless it's dangerous, in which case there's no problem in bailing if you're not comfortable. I'd rather quit while I'm ahead than have to call mountain rescue or just have a bad time of it. Got some nice views peeking out over there. Back to this up climb, incline. Okay, where was I? Next question. Why hiking, camping? So kind of similar to the last one. As a teacher, I find it the perfect antithesis of my chaotic work life. Yeah, kind of the same, to be honest. I think nature can be really like calming and tranquil, and I find it really recharges me. I think I touched on this earlier, but just to reiterate, I'm always my happiest when I'm outside. I don't know, there's so much to learn from nature. And on one hand, it's so calming and nice, but on the other, it's powerful and exciting and exhilarating. This is my second solo hike, and I don't know, I'm finding it a lot less scary than the first one, but while it does give you that sense of calm to be in nature, I think even just trying something new and going out on your own just brings a bit of adventure into your life. Sorry, excuse the out of breathness, I'm currently going uphill. Okay, here's a kind of practical one. How much water do you bring on your hikes? I don't know if you can tell, but I use a water bladder. I've talked about it before. Basically, I love using a water bladder because it's hands-free. Just grab the straw and you're good to go. You don't have to go fishing through your bag for your water bottle, but basically that water bladder is 2 litres, so it's always filled to about 1.5 to 2 whenever I head out, and then I never drink the whole thing, to be honest. But it's there in case I need it. I never bring any water filtration or anything like that with me. Sorry, hold up. Oh yeah. That's lovely. Sorry, yes. I don't take any water filtration with me, but if I do start wild camping, I will be investing in some kind of water filtration system. And you know, if you're in a climate that's a lot hotter, you'll probably need a lot more water than what I have, but that works for me. What are some topics that you are especially interested in / passionate about? Well, aside from the obvious, I think a kind of extension of my passion for hiking is that I feel like my biggest personality trait is how much I love animals. I do want to eventually do some videos about animal welfare on this channel, but because I care so much about the topic though, I find it really hard to learn about. I think the thing I get upset about the most is animals, so I tend to try and avoid anything like upsetting. But at the same time, I'm so passionate about stuff improving in animal welfare, so I think I need to get over it and do some research and just, you know, make some videos about it. How did you learn to love hiking, and how is it that you only now have just started to dabble in camping? Well, I don't know, I think I loved hiking as soon as I got back into it as an adult. I loved it as a child, obviously, but I don't know, I think when you realise, or re-realise, I guess, that you love something when you are actually old enough to understand, that's when you realise that you actually do like it, I guess. As for the act of hiking itself, I do find it difficult. I have really bad cardiovascular fitness, so constantly out of breath. My heart rate gets to about 200 BPM on an incline. Shall we see what it is right now? Right now it is at 171 and I'm on like a mile incline. But you know, I think you just have to go at your own pace and just ask whoever you're with to accept that you're just going to be a bit slower if that's something that you struggle with. And I think going at your own pace and having people that respect that is huge in being able to enjoy it. As for camping, I don't know, I just, like I said, I've only kind of recently got back into hiking and camped as a child and stuff, but I just don't have the gear as an adult. I'm slowly chipping away at my camping gear shopping list, but yeah, I've just never had the income to do it. Plus, again, I can't drive, so that really puts a spanner in the works when it comes to camping anywhere other than your back garden. But, you know, I'm hoping to do it eventually. Had a few questions like any big hiking plans or what are my goals with hiking, that kind of thing. And to be honest, after a semi-traumatic well, is it a hike still? It was a scramble, a horrible climb. No ropes, no ice axe or anything. Across Giddy Edge in Snowdonia/Eryri. It was early February. We set out to scramble Giddy Edge and the weather forecast was fine. It was like, yeah, we might have a tiny bit of wind, like, I don't know, 12 miles per hour gusts or something like that. And we were like, cool, that sounds great. We'll be careful, we'll do it quickly. I'll face my fear of heights and we'll get over it. Fast forward to when we're on the ridge and the wind gusts are up to speeds of 60 miles per hour, I think it was. Just taking this view for a sec. 60 miles per hour. And yeah, the wind was literally picking me up. Now, I'm kind of small, so my dad, brother and partner Sam were with me and they were literally having to hold me down to get across flat sections because the wind would literally blow me off the edge if they didn't. So, it wasn't the best time. And I think since that happened, I just don't feel the need to plan any kind of big hiking event. That was my big hiking event of the year. But I guess that question could also just mean like bucket list hiking places that don't involve 60 mile per hour winds on a very exposed ridgeline. And sure, yeah, I do have places I want to go and explore. New Zealand, big one. America kind of, but mainly to see those big redwood trees. But to be honest, I really want to spend a lot of time exploring the UK. I think hiking has really helped me like the place that I live a lot more. So when I finish learning to drive, I would love to explore the lakes, Scotland, more of Wales. No huge plans, just explore, see where the world takes me. And that kind of feeds on to the next question. Do you mainly hike in the Peak District? And the answer is yes. I live about 40 minutes to an hour away from the Peak District, so it's kind of the most accessible place for us to explore. Yeah, I really like it. Everyone kind of dogs on the peaks a little bit because it's not as exciting as the lakes or, you know, your other national parks, but I love it. It's familiar to me, homey. And I think there are a lot of hidden gems that people overlook just because it's the peaks. My favourite book is Pride and Prejudice, and the peaks kind of hold a major part in that, so I think I appreciate it a bit more because of that. I thought this would be a good opportunity to take you to apparently the most dangerous footpath in the UK. I know I just said I'm done thrill seeking, but apparently not, guys. No, I've done this before and it's really not that bad. It's called Giddy Edge, This is what it looks like around it. And then you just follow it down this little path, and that takes you to Giddy Edge. And you can kind of see why it's called Giddy Edge, because look how high we are. I say I'm scared of heights, but for some reason this kind of thing doesn't bother me. I guess because it's not really that exposed. I've always been more scared of man-made heights, like if you've ever gone on a school trip to one of those adventure places. I never did any of the adventure things. I always somehow squirmed my way out of doing them. So let's make our way down Giddy Edge. This is a fun little addition to this Q&A vlog, I guess, but don't say I don't treat you. But here you go. This is how it starts. And you can just see the cable cars in the distance for the Heights of Abraham, which is where I was litter picking earlier. But you can kind of see why this is nicknamed the most dangerous path in the UK. A little bit spooky, I guess. But you know, there's a handrail here, so don't worry. It's hard to really show you how steep this is, but I mean, you can see those houses down there. It is quite a wide path though. This is just what I walked across here, and there you go, you can see my feet, so you do have quite a bit of room to get around. But I think this is just one of those little hidden gems that the Peaks has. It's not obviously a huge hike, but you know, it's just a nice little extra for a walk, makes it a bit more interesting. That was pretty much it. Okay, next, favourite Simpsons character. That's a toughie. I think I'm gonna have to go with Blinky or Mr. Burns when he's like in alien form. Have you made any friends hiking? I mean, to be fair, I've made a lot of friends online through making hiking content. So I guess you could say yes, I've made friends through hiking. And I would love to trek her on a group hike one day. But yeah, just from being out and about, not really. Been friendly with the odd person, but I think it has to last more than 5 minutes for it to count as a friendship. Outdoor guides and reading recommendations. Struggling to think of any while I'm out here. There's this book that I really like that basically has a load of illustrations of mountains and hills across the UK, and it kind of lists them and the intensity of each hike or climb, and it kind of tells you what materials you'll need, if you'll need any ropes and safety equipment, that kind of thing, and just tells you what to expect on the hike. I really like that. My mind is completely blank, but these are some books that I like. Not reading, but Miranda Goes Outside is a great YouTuber for learning tips and tricks of backpacking and hiking and that kind of thing, and I think she brings a different perspective than a lot of hiking and outdoors YouTubers out there. Quite Americanized because she's in America, I think, so it makes sense, but yeah, you don't take everything as gospel if you're not in America. Rules will be different in every country, but just wanted to say, really like Miranda Goes Outside. Are there any other outdoor activities slash sports that you enjoy, like mountain biking, kayaking, nature writing, painting, etc.? I think I said earlier, my partner Sam likes to go mountain biking sometimes. Hello. Yeah. But yeah, that's a bit hardcore for me. I did do a greenish route in Morzine on a mountain bike, which was surprisingly hard, but you know, I did it, didn't fall over, and I'm proud of myself for that. Aside from that, I dabble in painting. I used to mainly be like a portrait artist, but I did do a bit of plein air painting on that same Morzine holiday, and I would like to get into more botanical art, that kind of thing. It's just finding the time, to be honest. I also love paddleboarding, which I would love to share with you on YouTube, like in a proper how to get into paddleboarding way, but I just need to work out how to film that because water is not a camera's friend. Oh, I wonder if we can see Giddy Edge from here. I don't think so, but it was on top of this big cliff. Yeah, sorry. I just need to work out how to film a video like that, but I think it's getting a bit late in the year for filming stuff about paddleboarding, so maybe wait for spring for that one. To be honest, I just like spending time outside in any capacity. It doesn't have to be hiking. Just chilling out here. I just like to take it all in, to be honest. Music while hiking, question mark? To be honest, not really. Because I'm usually with people, I wouldn't put my headphones in while they were around, and I wouldn't play music out loud, so yeah, no, not really. I don't think I did when I went on my solo hike either, and I've not for this one, so to be fair, I'm talking to you guys most of the time, so that would kind of defeat the object. But favourite music aside from that is tends to be more angry. My favourite band is Queens of the Stone Age. But, you know, new metal, System of a Down, Deftones. Also love Muse, Green Day, old Fall Out Boy. To be fair, when I talk about bands, I usually mean their old music because part of me is incapable of listening to new things, but yeah. Got some more of that nice view here. Not rock, but honourable mention, Jamiroquai. Banger after banger, honestly. What do you do for a living? I am... Oh. Sorry, got distracted by this hole. I am a graphic designer for my 9 to 5. It's in-house, so it's all pretty steady. Don't have to go looking for work or anything like freelancers do, but I really enjoy it. It's for a not-for-profit as well, so that's really nice. I feel like I've really tried with the graphic design on my YouTube channel, and actually I'll show you this. I made myself business cards recently. How cute. And if you didn't know, I also made myself a website for those business cards to have somewhere for them to go, so check that out. Have you ever thought of doing a through hike? I would absolutely love to do a through hike one day. You know, once I'm comfortable with solo camping and that kind of thing, would love to do that. I have so many ideas on my kind of YouTube video list, and a lot of them involve camping or hiking for as long as I can, or hiking for 24 hours, that kind of thing. No one steal my ideas, by the way. No, just kidding. You can do them if you want. It'll probably take me a while to do them, to be honest. But yeah, I have so many things on my list that I would love to do that kind of, maybe they don't count as through hiking, but kind of in the same vein. And yeah, a lot of it is just waiting on me to be able to drive. Because I can't really camp and not have an ability to bail out. I need that car safety net. Okay, that's all the questions I have while I'm still out here, so if anyone asks anything else, it'll have to be when I'm back home, unfortunately. But I hope this has been a nice little trip out for you, and yeah, hope you enjoyed Giddy Edge. I'll answer any other questions on my YouTube community post that I didn't get to, and I'm sorry if I missed yours. This was just getting a bit long, and it means that I can do another Q&A sooner. Keep your eyes peeled for a premiere soon. My next video is a little bit of a bigger project for me, and I'm really excited for it. Okay, thank you to my patrons, and thanks for watching.